Republicans at the Heritage Foundation are running from the organization's Project 2025. Not US reports that Republicans have been tearing their hair out over the best ways to handle the Project 2025 controversy, which the publication writes has become, quote, politically radioactive. Gee, I wonder why that is. Very curious. Maybe it's because they wrote down some of the most unpopular garbage ideas in current existence. For example, they literally wrote about how they're going to try to ban porn and no-fault divorce, raise taxes on working class people, cut Medicare and Social Security, teach the Bible in public schools, and ban birth control, among many other disastrous policies. They wrote it all down, and they're shocked. They're shocked that people actually read it and were like, yeah, this actually sucks. Yeah, it's so unpopular that even Donald Trump was like, I don't want anything to do with it, at least publicly. And let's be clear about that, all right? He doesn't want anything to do with it publicly, but behind the scenes, he's still all in favor. Again, he doesn't want people to know that he wants it because the man knows how to read polls. I mean, he knows how to read polls all the time. Yes, sure, he'll be like, oh, fake polls, fake news, blah. But you know what? No, he does know how to read polls. And that's why he's furious being linked to Project 2025. One source tells Not US that Trump may be so angry about Project 2025 that they fear that it will harm the Heritage Foundation's ability to influence policy in a second Trump White House. Now remember, they actually had a ton of influence in the first Trump administration. In fact, all the Supreme Court justices, they're Heritage Foundation picks. And so that's what ended up getting us the end of Roe, what killed student loan forgiveness, and what has led to numerous incredibly anti-democratic and I mean small d democratic, right? Pro-corporate decisions. Okay, this Supreme Court has Heritage Foundation written all over it, and this Supreme Court happens to be the least popular Supreme Court I think we've ever had. Okay, so people hate this organization, their goals, and what they plan to do if Donald Trump or any Republican actually ends up getting into the White House. And so now here's here's Brian Darling, a GOP operative and former Heritage Director of Government Relations, saying, there came a point at which people realized, oh, you might have actually done something that jeopardizes Heritage's influence in the next administration. People are legitimately worried. I'm sorry, that's actually the source. Here's Darling's quote here. He said, I was not surprised that he didn't want to be associated with it, but I didn't understand why the tone was so harsh and over the top. Well, that's because people hate it. I mean, that's pretty simple. This is a terrible wish list of conservative priorities. And by the way, it's not just a wish list. This is something that they plan to do by basically reclassifying government workers to be political appointees. Mass fire all of those people who won't play ball, put in the Heritage Foundation goons to run all these different agencies, and that's how they make these changes happen. So it's not just a wish list, it's a blueprint on how they are going to not only take over the government, but then institute all of their terrible, unpopular policies. So that's why it's so dangerous. Now, Representative Jared Huffman told Not US, saying making Project 2025 politically toxic with voters has been a breeze because they don't have to exaggerate anything about the document's radical proposals. We're not trying to mislead anyone. We're showing them the 920-page radical blueprint that these guys were stupid enough to publish. Yeah, stupid. Overconfident as well, because they thought, oh, we've got this thing in the bag. I mean, Donald Trump's, making fun of Joe Biden for being old, and people are actually legitimately concerned about Biden's age. Oh, we're going to run this election and then we're going to do all these terrible things that people hate. Oh, was that? Oh, did you hear that? Oh, did you actually hear the things that I was talking about? Never mind. Oh. Now, that said, Donald Trump absolutely in favor of this. In fact, Russell Vought, one of the principal architects of Project 2025 and the policy director for the RNC's 2024 Platform Committee, said that Trump had blessed the organization's work in hidden camera footage obtained by a UK nonprofit. Vought stated that Trump is very supportive of what we do. Now, on his denials, Vought says, well, look, yes, trying to distance yourself from this, it's a political move. It doesn't really bother us. I'm not really worried about that, he said. Vought said that he has remained in contact with Trump and that Trump has been very supportive of his work, saying that Trump had been at our organization, he's raised money for our organization, he's blessed it, he's very supportive of what we do. So that's very, very clear, right? Publicly, their hair's on fire and they're running away from Project 2025, but behind the scenes, ever forward. They're trying to pull a fast one on the American people, right? By claiming, oh, no, we don't want anything to do with Project 2025. Oh, all those things are very, very unpopular. And then that's exactly what we're going to do when we get into power. They know people don't want it, so they lie about it. And then when they get elected, once they're in power, they start doing it. And before long, of course, when that happens, it's too late. And it's not just this election that we're facing Project 2025. If it's not 2025, it's Project 2029, Project 2023. The right has this waiting in the wings the next time they get into power. And they have very, very long-term goals, okay? They've been planning, for example, the end of Roe for decades. They've been planning ever since the New Deal to try to chip away and destroy the New Deal era programs. And this would actually do it. So they are very, very long-term planners and long-term thinkers. So if you think that, we let Kamala Harris, then Project 2025 goes away. No. The policies stay the same. The goals still stay the same. It's just we've given ourselves a short time reprieve. No, every election into the foreseeable future, we are fighting against this fascism, and that's what it is. Until the Heritage Foundation and all these right-wing think tanks are no longer relevant players in Republican politics, and until we get rid of the gigantic think tank money and billionaire money from our political system, this is always going to be a threat. And so, until then, we got to make sure Republicans don't get elected. Which means it's very important to stay involved in the political system, to not just vote, but yes, to vote, but also to take a stand, to, if you're feeling inclined, if you're progressive, run for office, get involved in the process. Protecting our democracy means being vigilant. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.